What's happening? This is the Tap In Podcast. We are live inside the Tap In studio. I got a special guest in the building, man. One of my favorites, Mr. JAYSON LYRIC. What's happening, man?
What's good, man? I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, man.
I always got to tap in around this time.
Absolutely,
So,
man.
yeah,
Absolutely,
let's
man.
do it
How you
as always.
been?
I've been great, bro.
Yeah?
Been great. Blessed, family good, working, back inspired when it comes to the music.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, summertime, so we ready to pop it one time.
Yeah. Man, I wanted to ask you about something. The Just Friends.
Mm-hmm.
What made you remake that song?
Friends. So one of my producers, Beezy, aka Bravo, he was sending me some beats. Friends was one of the beats he sampled. I heard some things that I wanted to do differently, so I had a couple other producers help on the record, like Miggy, K Gray. But honestly, it landed in my lap. Shout out to Beezy for even like having the idea to sample it and send it my way. And from there, you know, it's history. You know, it's my second best selling record right now. Going viral multiple times on TikTok, etc. Shout out to the old school portion that I did of the record. That's what really got it like its recognition. And we sat on that record for like a year before, maybe even longer, maybe 2 years before even putting it out.
Really?
Yeah, so I done heard it a million times already.
Really?
And like, but that just tell you when it's good music, it's timeless.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, try not to hear it so much so we can promote it
Yeah,
the right way.
Yeah. Cause that song is such a classic song by itself.
It is.
And then when you did the flip to it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It just take it over the that's dope, man.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Hits make hits.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of people are sampling nowadays. So you still got to do your part of not fucking it up. But I think we did it justice. And obviously it's a popular record. So off top, people know it. And then it's like I did my thing. The producers did their thing. So
Yeah. Do you ever feel like it's like like pressure to make like TikTok music per se?
I feel it's pressure to make music in general in these times, especially if you have a certain appreciation for music, because you have to approach it a lot differently than I did when I fell in love with it from jump. Like you really gotta care how the people will receive it more than ever. I used to just make music from the heart, but now it's a little more structured and a little more intent. And then with TikTok, right, it might be 4 seconds of a song that everybody knows that's going crazy and it's viral. It already did 10 million clicks or whatnot, and nobody really knows the full song. But man, it's a weird place in music in general right now. Cause even with Friends, right, I didn't think the old school portion of the song would be the most popular. I honestly thought just the first few seconds of the sample, Friends, will be what everybody gravitates to. So I guess it's back to square one. You really don't know what people would like. Just make it and put it out.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think what's most important to you? Creativity or like the business?
Creativity for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But starts with creativity for me, because I can't even plan my business strategy until the music is made. You know what I mean? I can't even articulate how I'm gonna release something, the days I'm gonna do it on, event planning. You know, it starts with the music, so it always comes back to the art of it, the creativity. What's the thought into like what I'm creating for me always. Yeah, I don't know how everybody else does it, but for me, man, it's the music. I have people hit me up all the time and be like, hey, such and such date is coming on. What you doing for the spring? What you doing for summer? Oh, it's that time to drop this type of record. And I'm like, man, the music ain't ready, so I can't even think that far. Let me holler back at you when I got enough songs to share. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Because I always think with creativity, like when you able, like you said, when you making music, when you first started, you were just making it for the love of it, for the creative part of it, how to get the words out, how to get that feeling out. And it was more fun for you, I guess, at that point.
For sure.
But now that it's a business and it's your livelihood, it's like, okay, now I gotta really figure out, okay, how I want to make this song. What songs should I put out? You know what I mean? And it's more business-y. If you know what I'm saying? I don't know, because the business is what make you the money, but the music, the music, how good it is, also lends to that. So it's like, I don't know. It's like a toss.
Yeah, it's finding that balance. Because I started off the interview saying I'm back inspired to make music.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm going through those phases too, where like I have to keep up this amount of numbers, this amount of, I don't know, engagement on Instagram, doing X, Y, Z. And I honestly just got back to a point where I'm inspired to make the music. I'm enjoying making the music. And also, I guess from a business standpoint, that's where you bring in a few people to help you facilitate the business. Let them worry about that. Now, I'm one to say that, but I still try to do everything myself and try to balance the business and the music. So, yeah, maybe that's where you find somebody that can just take that off your plate. So I have a few people that help me like investing and things of that nature. But until I'm enjoying the music I'm making, I can't think as far as like what we doing on the business side. To me, it's not reality for me. It just feels like entertainment, and it all feels staged.
Yeah.
So I gotta like focus on the music first. Then we'll get to like how we rolling this out. How many days we got before we doing this release event? What's ways to I guess get people to the event, and like what should we offer them, and da da da. When all I really want them to do is listen to the fucking music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But finding that balance. But as we get older, we understand it can't just be out of love. We gotta make it. We gotta monetize it somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And I think for me, being successful in music to where I don't have to work a regular job, it allowed me to get back to enjoy creating. But then there's sustaining that success when the money comes, and how to make that money make money. And then I can't focus on music right now. I gotta figure out how to keep the bills getting paid. But life is balanced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
right now I'm like 50-50 with everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What made you? You spoke a little bit to it, where you can't focus on the music, and what brought you out of that love for the music? Was it coming out of that your old deal, or what was it that made you uninspired?
Man, maybe keeping up the hype of like the records like Self Love. I'm like, cause my target audience changed overnight. You know what I mean? It was like I have all these new women followers, and it's like, dang, on a business standpoint, I have to focus on them because that's where the dollars is coming from. But anybody that's been following JAYSON lyrics since back in the day, I've always been like an MC. I could actually rap. You know, I've always made songs for the women, but that wasn't my like primary focus. And I think just getting in the mentality of like, man, I need to feed my women audience kind of took me away from it, because now I'm aiming for a certain song. I'm trying to replicate something I've done instead of just create from like just inspiration in general. And then recently I got to a point where fuck it, I'm gonna make the music I want to, and you know, they like it, they do, they like it, they don't. You know.
You think the self-love was like a gift and a curse?
Yeah, in some ways I do. But more so a gift than anything.
Yeah. yeah.
Because it took me understanding what a big record could do, And so it's lessons learned and things I had to go through to understand the music business. So all in all, it happened the way it was supposed to. Um, I think just going back, I would have did things a little different after Self Love had its success. But mainly a gift. I think the curse was like it altered the way people around me that was a part of my team think too. And so I'm trusting them with certain decisions, and they like, we got to do X, Y, Z, and then you know what I'm saying. So it's like just sticking with my gut, like throughout. I think is where I need to be, and stick with that.
Mm. Have you performed that song with Nivea live?
Nevaeh, no,
Nevaeh?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Man, we gotta get that.
Yeah. So I think Nevaeh wasn't as inspired to do music either. You know what I
Really?
mean? Yeah. It's like she she just got back in it from what I've seen about like working on a project and putting music out. So I mean, that's a question for her to see, you know, where she's at musically and what she wants to do. But now we still haven't performed it. The day it happens, you know, it's gonna be beautiful.
That's
though.
gonna be so dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that's gonna be so dope, man. Does I, and forgive me if because I'm new here to Dallas. I've been here about 10 years, so I consider that still kind of new.
Gotcha.
Does Dallas have like a summer jam for like their artists to like perform, like little festival? Have they ever had that?
Not
No.
that I know of.
No?
Usually the festivals is coming from other cities, and they getting with us to help open up sometimes.
Yeah.
And then it's usually the same artists they utilizing for these platforms. But from what I understand on the business aspect, it's just hard to do different things in Dallas. So even like the One Fest, and not to go into too many details, but they had so many things they had to clear just to do the One Fest at State Fair Park, and so it won't be coming back.
What?
Yeah, just because different liquor licenses. Think of all the businesses inside of State Fair that they have to make sure isn't open that day. So they might have to rent out a certain space in State Fair just to have the State Fair for that day. So that's the African American Museum, a few other places. And I just don't think we have many places to hold a festival. I could be wrong, but
I know in Grand Prairie at the Epic Center on the grass, it's a small stage, but it's a stage already there where they did I think they did 1 year, I think it was Black on the Block. They did it over there. Like K104 like is
Right.
really missing because there's so many artists that's popping from Dallas.
But what I also been told, most of these festivals are owned by the big corporations, by Live Nation and these other places. So like they have to put something like that together, and usually they already have deals with these labels for certain artists to be on the festivals. So it's not even like, I think it's bigger than us.
Really?
Yeah.
So I guess is there no room to come up with a new, like, cause
I'm sure it's room. It has to be somebody with that type of money and power.
when I was a young kid in LA, the radio station had what's called a summer jam,
Okay. Yeah.
where it was like big artists.
Yeah.
It'll be like either 2 days of music. You come out, sit on the lawn, bring your little picnic table or your little picnic blanket, have your food out there, and you get all these different artists performing like all day.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like there's so many different like big venues that's here in Texas, in Dallas, where K104 should be able to do that.
Right. But look who owns the venues. Live Nation owns House of Blues, and they're everywhere. They own what's the new joint? Echo. They own those spaces. They probably own the Toyota joint.
Music Factory?
Probably so. The Pavilion, whatever.
Yeah.
'Cause that's Live Nation promotes a lot of their shows there. So I just think the big man on top that owns everything that we don't know, and you know, and they capitalism, you know.
This is why I hate that shit, because Big X the Plug, yourself, Hasi sends you, Sage, Dero, it's so many different artists from this area that could put on a dope concert in the city. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't have to be all Dallas focused.
Right.
It could be, you know, the top people in Dallas, and then have a few sprinkle of big A-list rappers, you know what I mean, come in and do a set, and they're like, that shit'll be dope.
Right.
I don't know, like you said, maybe Live Nation does own the venue, but I'm sure they have rental fees where people could rent those venues out.
Right. In a perfect world, and you know, I guess it happens on a smaller scale. You know, you see like the show last night at Trees with Erica Banks, Hashi, and all them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a festival, but it's a concert, and there's nothing but Dallas artists. So I mean, it happens on a smaller scale, but just not festival wise. I don't know how much plays into festivals, but it seemed like pretty big, bro. Because I guess it is a lot of back to the One Fest, and I only know this because somebody was telling me.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you go into one of the buildings that was at the One Fest, you couldn't take your drink outside because they had a liquor license inside, but not on the outside of that building. So there's different stuff like that, and I guess that's just more tacked on to the bill that they had to pay off different people to throw that type of thing.
Yeah.
And then you think of, they were just saying Lil Wayne, how much he might have cost, Summer Walker cost. There's some big artists. They had Lotto. And I don't think it's as profitable as people think.
No?
No.
Yeah. I would think that it'll be
to bring it back.
To bring it back. Okay.
To bring it back. You know what I mean? It might happen in Atlanta where you got more people that can, you know, pull certain plugs, and it's been going on for 15 years, you know what I mean? But I see festivals trying to happen in Dallas, but sometimes they come, they go. I think Jambalaya was something that was happening, but I haven't seen that in a few years.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I interviewed this one guy. He's like a touring like promotional company, but he's like underground music, and that nigga's like killing on the underground scene. Like this, I don't know if it's like grunge or like rock kind of shit.
Yeah.
But like on the underground scene, he's like killing the underground scene. Big ass venues. Matter of fact, there was a venue that I went to in Fort Worth. It looked like a little barnyard, but this shit was big. The stage, they got lighting. I was like, I ain't never know nobody even come over here to do. But it was like a bunch of little high school, college kids that was in there, just having a good ass fucking time. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, possible. I guess who's ever willing to take that risk to put something of that magnitude together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Would you fuck with the underground scene?
Sure, I still do from time to time. You know, but I also gotta like make sure it makes sense.
Yeah.
And make sure, you know, if I'm bringing a band, you know, you can take care of my band when we come too. You know, it's just a lot of things going to it. Whether it's paying security, etc. But I still do, not as much as I used to, but I still do the underground thing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you bring the whole band with you.
I try to.
No more DJs.
I try to. If they have a budget for the band, I'm bringing the band. Just cause I just love performing with live instruments. You know what I mean? And I've been rocking with the same band for about a decade, and so, you know, we ready to do like the big concert, the big arenas. And that's another thing. A lot of the shows around here, I hate the word showcase. You know what I mean? It's not a talent show. Get up there. You know, I don't know. Not for me.
Yeah.
We've been doing this too long.
Yeah.
So if we do it, let's do it right, man. Let's do the whole band, 30 minutes to hour set. Bring some other few artists that could really perform and make it happen. Yeah.
I want to ask you a question, but this is leading to something else. Will.i.am said something about where music doesn't Music doesn't sell music. Music sells other products. Do you agree or disagree with that? Or what's your feeling on that?
I think he's not right. I mean, he's not wrong. Let me say
Okay.
that. Because music can sell other music. If I sell you on this song and you love it, most likely you're gonna go check the album whenever it come out. Right? So that's an example of that. But I do understand taking music and using that for other things. I just did a short 10 ball ad, you know what I mean? So that's based off, they know me from the music and they like, okay, we can use this influence to get people to do this malt liquor. And so it definitely should turn into other things. So he's not wrong at, on any side. So
That's what I wanted to ask you about. How did you hook up with 10 Ball?
man, just reaching out. And I think that's just based off my name and my influence. They just reached out to me. You know what I mean? I didn't reach out to them. And they gave me full creativity on that ad. So they just said, do your thing, however you feel to promote it. And so, I mean, that got to stand for something. I mean, mean something, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So shout out to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And for those that don't know, 10 Ball is a malt liquor?
It's a malt liquor.
Okay.
10%, whatever.
10% alcohol?
Yeah, 10% alcohol. Fairly new company, maybe about 3-4 years.
Okay.
But they really based their, I guess, promotion off artist influence, and so they usually do like collabs with On the Radar.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, fortunately, myself.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Because when I seen it, I was like, yo, this looked like a commercial that could be on TV easily. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
dope.
how he hook up with them? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, that's super dope.
Yeah.
And you had your music behind it. I was
Right.
like, it makes sense.
Man, appreciate it. And
You know what I'm
and
saying?
I shot that myself. I directed that myself. Shot that myself. So,
Word.
Yeah, I've gotten to film recently, about half a year in, and I just, man, I'm a creator at heart with anything, and so once I put my mind to something, I'm trying to master it.
Really?
So yeah, when it comes to editing, color grading, all that, I did all that for that vid, for that ad.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you learn how to do that? Or you just be in the lab?
Man, just too much time on my damn hands.
Okay.
Researching, studying. Again, when I see something, it don't take me long to learn. If it inspires me, I'm like, I'm gonna figure out how they did that. And so just studying, YouTube University, just doing homework, bro, on everything. I really try to master anything I do, whether it's video games or like streaming. I try to really tap in
Yeah.
and understand the workings of it. Because I think once you understand how something works, man, the sky's just the limit. You know what I mean? And as an artist, if I'm in front of the camera, I should know some type of ins and inner workings of the camera so I can even communicate that with people I'm working with. So, you know what I mean? It can be seamless when we do put out projects.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
Yeah. Are you gonna do anything else in the film?
Yeah, for sure. Currently shooting a documentary.
On what?
On me.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Late to the party. So that's another thing I will be promoting come June 13th. And but it's really, man, footage compiled from the last 2 years. Right now I'm just trying to put the last minute touches on it. Excuse me. And then my last couple music videos, I co-shot those and edited and directed those. So like If You Feel Like It, Friends, and Me and Scotty, which isn't out yet, and then I'm working on new stuff as well.
So I seen 2 videos with friends.
Mm-hmm.
Those are which one is like the official, or are these just both just like?
I'm assuming you seen the same video twice. It's just different scenes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Uh,
I seen one where it was a girl DJing and it was a guy behind her.
mhm.
That's the same video. It's just different parts
Same
of
video,
it.
different scenes.
Oh, okay.
Now to even go in detail, we shot them at different times. Yeah, we started shooting Friends last year around this time, and we just finished shooting maybe a couple months, and then put it out. Um, Again, timing, bro.
Yeah.
Timing.
You know something else I noticed about your video?
Mm-hmm.
You choose to go black and white versus color.
Mm-hmm.
What's the thinking behind that?
You can't go wrong with black and white, man. And honestly, that's how I see a lot of life.
Really?
Yeah, it's either black and white, whether it's a lie, it's either a lie or it isn't. And it's kind of, yeah, I guess again, that's how I see life as black and white, bro. Like I'm very either excited or not excited at all. So I think it goes to my personality too.
Really?
You know what I mean? Even today, I'm wearing black and white.
Yeah.
Crazy to speak on that. The theme for the release is black and white next month. And yeah, I just love black and white, man. I just love black and white.
It gave me like a because I seen the I guess like a little snippet for the Brick 5 record, and you were in black and white and you were just showing these different little scenes.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me like a nostalgic from like back in the day, like a Love Jones kind of feel, like the intro to Love Jones, and like a Spike Lee movie kind of feel, where he just have these different clips of different little places and they in black and white, and they just feel like timeless. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. I love it. My goal with the Brick series was to always show how far Dallas has come, old Dallas and new Dallas. And so a lot of those clips, all those clips are images taken in Dallas. Even the guy on the trumpet, you know what I mean? And just to highlight how Deep Ellum was based around blues and neo soul, and how that's where we went to congregate and make music. But now it's a whole nother different place. But yeah, a lot of those clips are straight from Dallas. I mean, even the building that's getting torn down, that happened in Dallas. So my goal is just to show Dallas culture that a lot of people don't really know. Like even myself still learning. Like even stories behind Trinity River and why places are called Oak Cliff, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the goal with the visuals from the promo into like the visuals I'm gonna release.
Okay.
Yeah.
And give me the meaning behind Brick 5.
Brick 5. So you can call it Season 5, Volume 5, Chapter 5. I'm on my 10th year since the first Brick by Brick, which was in 2015. And it's a lot of layers. Literally how brick is laid. That's how the project is. It's super layered. But me building with my team, Dallas building up to where it is now, the music scene building up, you know. Back in the Gap, we called ourselves New Dallas, and now it's a whole nother New Dallas. And it was literally saying how I built a foundation with my inner circle, and how we are now. Like everything we worked for, we started with a foundation, and now we have this full house, and now we just like maintaining it. And so it's literally built brick by brick. But again, so many layers, right? So I might make Dope Boy references throughout the project just because my infatuation with gangster movies. But, you know, I'm no drug lord or nothing like that, but it's just my wordsmith, and I play on words and whatnot. So it's Dope Boy references, it's building with my team, the people I started with and I still here, because when I started Brick by Brick, it was like everybody in my team is a brick. and we come together, we build a house. So man, I could go on and on, but like it's just literally building something brick by brick to where you trying to get to an empire.
Yeah. And so can people go back to research Brick 4? Can they is there album?
Brick 4, Brick 3, Brick 2, Brick by Brick. They're all on Apple Music.
Oh, I'm going to stream all that shit. I'm telling you, I'm going to stream all that when we leave.
You know, and it might not have made sense then,
Mm-hmm.
but they'll get it with this next release. Like, man, he's been preaching the same motto. He's been like building literally in house with his team. You know, that's my brand, in house. My old head told me back in the day, man, it don't matter how you get in the house, but just get in the house. And once you get in there, you can pick a room. So I look at that as like, you know, we late to the party, but I finally inside the house of the music business to where like I can make my own decisions. You know what I'm saying? Now I can dress it up how I want to. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I want to throw my own concert at House of Blues, I can do that. And you know what I mean? It's just, et cetera. Like, so just a testimony to like build your own, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, you can go all the way back to Brick 1. That was DJ by DJ Duffy. Brick 2, that was by Mr. Rogers, DJ Mr. Rogers. 3 is when I finally kind of made it like an album because it started off as a mixtape series. And man, for the most part, the core is the same producers that I'm working with today. And you know, I hope it's just a testimony to keep building, you know what I mean? Even when people don't see the house is as it is, like, I don't know, a finished product. You know, I said this before in another interview where you drive by a construction site and you don't know what they building.
Mm-hmm.
You just see them over there working every day, every morning, and like, man, they taking forever to build this, just like they doing 635 or something. But once it's built, you be like, man, this is amazing. You know, I wonder how long it took them to build this.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope when people see JAYSON LYRIC, they think as of it in the same way.
Yeah. Fire, man. God damn, that's dope.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. When is the documentary? When you gonna release that?
At least a trailer.
Okay.
June 13th. Don't have an actual date because I want to premiere it in a theater here in Dallas. Yeah, so
okay.
I want to roll it out properly. You know what I mean?
That's gonna be fire.
Yeah. So you definitely getting the invite for that when it
I'm
comes.
there.
Yeah.
I am there.
Yeah.
We
documenting it right now.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Man, do you think? Because I remember back in my day when I was young, it felt like the artist was kind of like the voice of the culture. Do you still think it's like the responsibility of artists like yourself to kind of be the voice of like the culture still?
Yes and no. Because I feel like because people have so much influence with music, we put the wrong people up there sometimes. Or we letting the wrong people sway the youth. But in that instance, it's also my job to represent, you know, us in a positive light. So even I can do better at speaking out and like kind of like trying to carry the culture and speak for the youth. So yes and no, but when it comes to like politics and stuff, no, unless they kind of somewhat educated in that. But man, music is so powerful. It's kind of hard not to not influence young people with music because that's all they know. Every app is kind of based around music. You can attach a snippet of a song to it. So I just say if you are artists, just remember that kids, grannies, all these people are hearing your music, and you know it does so much as far as like the way people think, and you think that's crazy, right? But what all the rappers do, the street rappers, they want to be mobsters, you know what I mean? And then you take that and be like, oh, we're gonna crash out today.
Right.
And it's just like music is so powerful. You have to be careful. It's like money. Like you could use it for evil, or you could use it for good. And so, just keep that in mind when you're creating out here.
I think you are doing it. You may not realize it, but like doing the documentary or documenting like the history of Deep Ellum and the history like of Dallas and the blues element, like you may not be speaking to directly to the culture right now, day to day, but you are giving like the history. Because for me, I always fascinated by why things are the way they are. You know what I mean? How did they come to being this thing?
Right.
And by you documenting and getting the history of like Deep Ellum and Dallas and South Oak Cliff and why these names even exist, I think being able to document that and have youth or people be able to look at it and be like, okay, this is where we came from, you know what I mean? And where are we going with this? You know what I mean? How can we arrive at another point, or where people don't take it like, where people don't take it so serious where they willing to die for the name Oak Cliff or for the name something else or their street, or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's like, this is just people just making these names up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when you really get the history of it, you be like, somebody really just sat and made this up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
This is some slave master last name. Like,
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they just really wanted land for their people, and it wasn't even intended for us, etc. You know? But yeah, I feel like we just don't know that history. And once we do, we will start to appreciate certain things even more, or start thinking of, okay, what could we build of our own, you know, and leave that legacy behind, and people can tell, okay, they realized X, Y, Z, so they said they wanted to go do this for their people, and you know what I mean, and man, that's a whole nother thing. But the more and more I'm documenting myself, I feel like I'm learning more of the history, and I'm able to tell more of the history. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Have you learned anything by watching yourself through the lens of how other people see you? Have you learned anything, or is it too new?
Man, I've learned a lot of things. Being misunderstood. Like, I've learned that a lot of things that's happening in my head, I expect people to see or know, but they don't. Like, so sometimes I would trip out on why people don't understand where I'm coming from, or don't take the initiative on something. It's just because like everybody's perspective is different, and it doesn't make it wrong. They just watching that fight from a different point of view. But I'm learning that I need to be more patient with things, with people, even though I've always been patient with my career, but apply that to like my life too, you know what I mean? Learning that I have more superpowers than I even knew. Man, even when it come to film, I've had people tell me, "Oh man, you putting too much on your plate. Just make the music," you know what I mean? And so like I should have went my gut then. Like, you know what I mean? I could have been rolling out presentations how I wanted them. Man, you know, niggas told me not to rap back in the day and just make beats. You know what I mean? They just felt like I was a better producer. But imagine if I had did that. You know what I mean? So it's just learning to really trust instinct and the God in you. But man, I realized I was moving out of fear a lot of the times, or not facing my fears. So I'm doing that more. When I realize like I'm scared to do something, it's like, nope, that means you need to go do it. You know what I mean? So just learning on that, and I think that's just life.
Yeah.
That's just life. And you apply that to everything around it.
Yeah. And I know last time we spoke, man, we talked about you being a father, man.
Yeah.
How was that like navigating that still, being a father and an artist at the same time, man?
Man, it's beautiful. Honestly, like, so today, while we about to have the interview, because my daughter will FaceTime me every random times of the day. I text her. I'll be like, hit Slim, because I'm in the interview. You know what I'm saying? I just try to keep that communication, because who knows if she calls me right now. But, man, my daughter's like my best friend. Nobody could break that up. Love her to death. She's grown in a sense. I don't let her hear that though. But like, she's able to hold intellectual conversations with me and challenge me, challenge my thought, provoke thought. She's turning 15 in July. She's cheering. She got more confidence than I ever had at that age. So I'm proud of that. Right now, I'm teaching her to not just be like a consumer and to produce in life. Because you'll see kids on TikTok just scrolling, even adults just scrolling all day every day and like just consuming a bunch. But it's like, okay, what are you giving to the world? You know what I mean? So I want her to look at it like, what can you start building right now versus just like watching everybody else live their lives. So, man, I love her to death, man. Love her to death. And she's truly a young lady. So,
Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah. That's so dope. Okay, Break 5.
Break 5.
June 13th.
June 13th. Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Is there going to be like a concert? Because I know you always do something on.
Something.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a exclusive, you can call it listening party, release event.
Okay.
At Cosign Studios.
Your
boy, my boy. And it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be from like 7 to 10. I'm actually gonna start promoting it tomorrow.
Okay.
It's gonna be a chic cocktail attire. You know what I mean? All black, dressed to impress. Sponsored by 3 Kilos. And I want to see as many people that really been on the journey with me and wants to support the journey there. I'm gonna be dapper. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's gonna be beautiful.
Oh, man, I'm coming.
Yeah,
I'm coming. June 13th, I'm coming, man. I love that, though. Are you gonna document that as well?
Of course.
Yes.
I don't want to reveal too much, but I wanted to feel like you walking into an art gallery of JAYSON LYRIC and Dallas in general. So it's gonna be pretty chic. It's gonna be pretty tasteful. You know what I mean?
Dope. What does JAYSON LYRIC do for fun, man? Like when you just put the music down, put the business down.
Yeah.
What do you do for fun?
I play GTA.
Really? Okay.
I play GTA. That's my world outside of the real world. Yeah. But a lot of people play it for different reasons. They probably run around shooting people. Yeah. I'm actually running businesses.
Really? In the game? What?
I got a nightclub, auto shop. It sounds childish, but like
that's dope though. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's tapping into that virtual world that everybody's kind of living in right now when it comes to the streaming platforms and stuff. But that's me. I'm up 100 million right now.
What?
But that's my stress reliever. My, when I'm burnt out on making music that day, I cut that on. Keeps me from being outside running wild or being outside in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And so find me on there at Lyric Show.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. You ever thought about like joining the streaming world?
Yeah, so right now I'm building my community, but also trying to find communities to tap into. But I got a whole streaming set up. I stream here and there. I also have streamed one of my releases, so I might stream the release June 13th too. So yeah, Twitch at Lyric Show. I usually do everything under that name.
Okay.
That's like my gaming and streaming stuff. But yeah, I think if you're not streaming these days, it's like you're really like behind. You're stubborn. because I look at it as it's my own TV network. And, shout out to YouTube for the money they pay with, when you really build a real community, yeah, treat it as it's like it's your Oprah show. And it's a way of, I don't know, not having to be outside, but still like meet new people. It's really the virtual world we living in right now is crazy.
Yes.
So yeah, stream, and it's another stream of income if you don't want to play on words like that. So yeah, I stream on Twitch, Streamlabs, TikTok, YouTube, all that good stuff. You stream?
I don't,
Yeah.
but I need to.
Yeah.
I got to figure out, because what I want to do is stream the live interview. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's what I really want to
That'd be
do.
dope.
I was just thinking about a concept for a video of doing like a little streaming where you kind of going in and out of. I'll kind of. It just hit me just now, like.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'll let me when it comes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what I was about to say about streaming, but just taking advantage of that. And I feel like when you stream, or even like places outside of Instagram, like you reach masses, that there's really no restrictions. It's like TikTok. There's really no restrictions with the people you can touch. Shoot, it took me I don't know, over a decade to be on my Instagram, and I did that on TikTok in like a year, like the same amount of followers, etc. So I think these days it's really about building personal brands.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Whether you behind the camera or in front of it, just like think of you as a brand, regardless what you do, and let people in on what you do.
Yeah. My last question, man.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody out there that you would love to like collab with or do a record with?
Of course. I guess we got to think of, we talking about anybody.
Anybody. You got. I believe in putting shit out in the universe. You know what I mean?
I think of the top dogs, man. Cole, Kendrick, Drake. Even if Jay-Z want to come out of retirement, I've studied the Book of Hov for years, so like that'll be a dream come true. Big Sean, big influence of mine. Rick Ross. If I had to think of some new artists, Leon Thomas. I think
Leon Thomas, is he the guy that
the Mutt song? I'm a dog.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love that song too.
Right.
Yeah.
Her, Jasmine Sullivan. I know Brick 5 is gonna be heavy hip hop, but I love R&B, bro. I love just the soul of it, and I take that from my parents, having me around like just gospel music and everything, because that's where, for me, it all stems. So I think even to speak to that, I'm still gonna have an R&B record on there or two. I gotta still appease the women. Yeah. So other artists, Chance the Rapper is fire. Around Dallas, me and Hashi did something.
Really?
For a record. Yeah. We need some more though.
Yeah.
Me and Ty Harris have tried over the years, but we'll try again.
Okay.
As far as actually completing a record, but we talked many times and he sent stuff before. I'm trying to think of Dallas artists. If I had to put some people on, new artists that's dope to me, RJ the Weirdo, fire. I think you had Southside Vic up here before.
Yeah.
He's fire.
Yes.
Let's make that happen, Southside Vic. And I seen him mention late to the party, so for me, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's Yak the Mac. Because I'm trying to do better at collaborating, right? And I got a lot of spaces on Brick 5. So if the artist is going to bring it, I'm with it, man, these days. Yeah, that's all, guy. I keep rambling.
Okay, nah, I love it, man.
Yeah.
Cause I think what Atlanta does so well is collaborate with local artists. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily see it
Right.
as much here in Dallas, but I think LA does it,
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta does it, New York does it to a degree.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's why those are kind of like the big cities that
Right.
kind of rule the music industry, because they are collabing together so much.
And I think it's really the people behind the scenes putting that together. It ain't the artists, and I could be wrong, you know what I mean, or I'm not, or that's not 100% the truth, but a lot of these old heads or like big homies are putting these artists in the same room. So, I mean, shout out to A&Rs that's coming up in Dallas and just people that are dot connectors. I think we needed more of that to start like connecting the artists, because we artists, man, we sacred about our shit, you know what I mean? We can be a little to ourselves at times. I know for me, if it's somebody that outside of music that says, hey, you need to link with XYZ, I probably would take that in consideration to actually do it. So I think even with like, so QC, I feel like they connect a lot of those artists early on, and then they become, you know, companions and work together, and you know, if it meshes well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that only happens in places like Atlanta and who you said LA, where those are real, like they have a lot of people that push buttons. We don't really have a lot of execs, A&Rs, management companies, labels here.
Yeah.
And so I think that's always been where Dallas lacked, is the lack of infrastructure. So, but it's been coming together of late for sure.
Yeah. Some behind the scenes
Yeah.
people to push some buttons
that
or
can make that call.
yeah.
I can get JAYSON. Like if you hit me, you can get me on the line.
Yeah.
And you know, and then it's up to me to, you know, okay, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. You know.
I'm gonna try to start doing more of that.
Yeah.
Try to start being able to plug and connect the dots a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I talked to a bunch of artists, so that's on me. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Yeah. JAYSON Lyric, man, I appreciate you for tapping in, man.
Yeah, man, I gotta tap in.
Always a pleasure, man.
Love, bro.
Always a pleasure. I'm coming to the I just want to make sure I'm clear.
Yep.
The Brick 5, June 13th, is gonna be at Cosign.
Cosign Studios.
Okay, so I'm gonna be there. And then the video, when you releasing the video for that, or for one of the songs on Brick 5? When is
Leading
the
up
first
to the
one?
release.
Yeah.
I don't have any dates, but we're gonna release probably 2 visuals before then, the actual event. And then, like I say, we're gonna premiere some stuff at the event.
Okay.
So yeah.
Bet.
A lot of work to do in between then and now.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Yeah. Man, thank you again, man.
Thank you, bro.
Absolutely, man. Yo, man, this has been the Tap In Podcast. Thank y'all for tapping in. Till next time. Holla.